Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Hope you are all well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to our NIVS Home School. I am Sanjida Rahman, Assistant Teacher of National Ideal English Version School, Deshield. Today I am going to take a science class for the student of class 6. Our today's class topic is chapter 12, reading done, and our lecture number 22, today's homework number. My name is Sanjida Rahman and this is my contact number. My dear students, today we will discuss chapter 12 and the name of our chapter is the formation, origin and formation of the earth. Our today's chapter name is origin and formation of the earth. We are living in this beautiful world. How this world created and when this world is created, how this there in this world there are lots of things like river, ocean, trees, hills, mountains, forest. How this thing created, how are these things created, and what is the material and when it is created. Now we will learn about discussion this chapter. For thousands of years man has been searching the answer to the question, how were the earth and the universe created? There are many conventional theories and the stories in different culture and societies regarding the creation of the earth. But on the basis of the evidence found so far, majority of the scientists have accepted this theory now. According to this theory, the universe was created forming a vigorous explosion. So it was very popular that this world is created by a vigorous explosion. One astronomical body of the universe is the earth. We can see the outer side of the earth, but the internal formation of the earth is not easy to understand. The internal formation of the earth can be presumed from the happening of earthquake and volcanic eruption. Like this, we see in this world, we see forests, mountains, rivers, canals. But how this river created? But how this river came to this country? Or in Mysore, there is the Nile Node, and in Bangladesh there is a Bay of Bengal. How they are created? How? What is the formation of their creation? We learn about this. Lesson number 1 and 2, origin of the universe and the earth. Number 1, you will know that we live on the surface of the earth. What can we see as we look upward? We can see the sun at daytime, and at night we can see the moon, stars and the planets. Have you ever wondered thinking how was the earth created, or did you ever ponder about origin of the sun, the moon and the stars? There are many conventional theories and stories in different societies about the origin of the earth and the universe. For example, in the fairy tales of ancient China, it is told that a monster was born from a gigantic egg. Everything in this universe is born out of different limbs and appendages of the monster bodies. So at first there is a China story. They think that this earth is created by a gigantic monster, and from the monster, and this monster born from a gigantic egg. Everything in this universe is born out of different limbs and appendages of the monster bodies. It was a China story, but this story is not true. Scientists give the concept of the origin of the earth and the universe using many compelling evidences. Scientists assume that before cross of years, one lump of small but severely heavy and hot body exploded vigorously and scattered in all directions. This explosion is called the vigorous explosion. That scientists think that earth and the universe using many compelling evidence. Scientists assume that crores of years ago the earth was created by the vigorous explosion, and this explosion is called the vigorous explosion. After the vigorous explosion, a very small particles of the substances was converted into minute particles. And scientists also believe that after the explosion, when the explosion created, then all the things, all the substances are divided into very teeny minute particles. Then these minute particles became a bit cool and came together to form an astronomical body. In this way, the sun and other stars were created, when on one hand the astronomical bodies were creating by the minute particles coming together, on the other hand the universe was expanding more in course of time. So these astronomical, when these minute particles came together, then the astronomical bodies created and the universe was expanding more in course of time. That means our universe was become large after many more days. The energy, matters, space, everything of the universe is created from this vigorous explosion. So we know that energy, matter and space, these three things also created from the vigorous explosion. It is assumed that when the sun was created, then 8 remaining portion of small particles was floating in the space like dust particles. After that, these dust particles came together and the earth was created about 4 billion years ago. And it is thought that earth was created about 4 billion years ago. There are many theoretical evidences in favor of the creation of the universe by a vigorous explosion. One of the evidence in the universe is expanding till now. We also know that our universe is also expanding till now. The galaxy and the stars in space are moving away from one another. Hence, perhaps once they were centralized in a small place and they were separated by explosion. So, it was think that when the small things or the galaxy and stars, if they are concentrated in one place, again they will be separated and go far from each other by a explosion. Lesson number 3 and 4, the identity of the sun, the earth and the moon. We have known that our sun is one of the stars of the Milky Way galaxy. Sun is a star because it has its own light. Actually, the sun is the lump of gases. Hydrogen gas and other gases held together in due to gravitational forces. Hydrogen gas at the time of mutual interactions with each other produce huge amount of heat and light. Then the heat and light is scattered in all directions. So, sun is how the sun created. Sun is a star, but it has its own light. In the sun there are huge amount of hydrogen gas. So when these hydrogen gas particles are mutual interaction with each other, they produce huge amount of heat and light. Then the heat and light is scattered in all directions. Then we found the heat from the sun and also from the and we also get light from the sun. The sun produces a huge amount of heat and light. Some amount of heat and light reach our earth. Some astronomical bodies orbit around the sun, keeping it in the center. Our solar system consists of the sun, the astronomical bodies that orbit round it and the vacuum. The major portion of the spaces of the solar system is vacuum. The planets, satellites, comets, etc. astronomical bodies orbit round the sun, keeping it in the center. Now, 8 planets orbit round the sun, keeping it in the center. There are 8 planets in the orbit. They are moving around the sun. Sun is in the middle of the orbit and they are moving around the sun. The earth is one of these planets. The shape of the earth is like a sphere. There are various gaseous substances in the earth, but the earth cannot produce heat and light like the sun. In the earth there are also gas like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, but it cannot produce heat and light like the sun. That's why the earth depend on the sun for light and heat. The trees produces food using sunlight. The existence of animals too depend on the production of the food by the plants. The earth is not going to be very cool as the heat is coming from the sun. In this way, the heat and light of the sun save the life on the earth. Our earth orbits round the sun, keeping it in the center. Similarly, the moon orbits round the earth, keeping it in the center. The moon itself cannot produce heat and light. Then why does the moon appears to be luminous? Originally the light from the sun fall on the moon and it is reflected, and that is why we see the moon to be luminous. We know that moon has no color, moon has no light. It gets the light from the sun. That's why we see the moon. It takes the moon 27 days 8 hours to orbit the earth once. It takes when the earth is in the middle, and the moon is round the earth, and it takes 27 days 8 hours. The volume of the moon is 1/5 of the earth. The sun is 13 lakh times greater than the earth. Our sun is 13 lakh greater than the earth. The sun and the moon look equal as we see them in the sky, don't they? Why do they appear to be of the same size? The sun is too far away from us, so it looks much smaller than its actual size. Assume if the size of the sun is like that of a football, what will be the size of the earth like? Then the earth will be equal to a sand particles. Our sun is very big, and then the earth is look like a sand particles, very teeny and very small. We know that the earth is a suitable place for man and other animals. Do the animals reside in any other planets, stars or satellites beside the earth? They could be small, big or any type of animals. Scientists are searching whether there is existence of life in any other planets. But till now, the existence of the life was not found in any places except the earth. Scientists are searching like Mars, they go to the Mars or they go to the moon for the searching of life, but they do not found any kind of life in other planets. The only life found on the earth planet. Why then there is life only of earth? It is assumed that when the sun was created, then its remaining portion was floating in the space like dust particles. After millions of years of that, these dust particles came together and created the earth. At the beginning, the earth was too hot, so much hot that the earth's surface would boil like bubbles. There was no liquid water, which is essential for life. There was no oxygen in the atmosphere. Should the earth remain in this state, the appearance of life would not be possible. So at first we found that the earth was too hot and there is no oxygen and water in this earth. Then creation of the earth when dust particles came together hot. Then after cooling down slowly, atmosphere and water was created. Then increase in the amount of the oxygen and nitrogen in the atmosphere. So there is a flow chart, the appearances of suitable environment for creature in the earth. Gradually heat was released and the earth cooled down. At the time of cooling, the heavy particles went together the center, and the light particles remained near the surface of the earth. Gaseous substances such as carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane, carbon monoxide, etc. form the atmosphere. So what are the elements of the atmosphere? We know that carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane and carbon monoxide, these things are the elements of our atmosphere. After that, the earth cooled down more and the water vapor converted to liquid water, which created the sea. We know that at first earth was so much hot. Then when the earth cooling down, and then the water vapor at first in the water vapor, in the when the earth was at the beginning time, then the water vapor are boiling like bubbles. Then when the water cooling down, this water vapor also cooling down, and after many of years, then this water vapor cooled down and they came out like rain. Then the sea created. After that, the earth cooled down more and the water vapor converted to liquid water, which created the sea. The amount of oxygen and nitrogen increased in the atmosphere. These elements are essential for life. Following the production of these elements on the earth, life is created at last and the creatures started to exist on earth. Lesson number 5, the formation of our homeland and the earth. You have known that at the time of the creation of the earth, it was too hot. Then, in course of time, the earth cooled down slowly. At that time, the earth was formed with 3 portions. Light substances, that is gaseous substances, form the extremely outer portion. We call this portion atmosphere. After that, a bit heavy material formed on the surface of the earth and more heavier materials combined together to form the interior portion of the earth, atmosphere. The segment which surrounds and covers the surface of the earth is the atmosphere. You know that atmosphere is mainly formed by nitrogen and oxygen. In addition to that, there are water vapor, dust particles, carbon dioxide and some more gases in the atmosphere. Then the atmosphere up to 11 km for the earth's surface is called troposphere. The major portion of this layer of atmosphere has gas and cloud. You have known that cloud is mainly formed by water vapor. Just above the troposphere, that means just in the world, the first layer is called atmosphere, then the above level of the atmosphere is called troposphere. Then the major portion of this layer of atmosphere has gas and cloud. You have known that cloud is mainly formed by water vapor. Just above the troposphere begins the stratosphere. This layer is extended up to 50 kilometers from the earth's surface. In this layer there is a gas named ozone. These gas protect us from the injurious rays of the sun. This is a very small, there is a very small amount of gases in this layer and the layers beyond. Lesson number 6, Earth's surface. We stay on the surface of the earth. Above the earth's surface is the atmosphere and below the surface lies its interior portion. How do the earth's surface appears to our eyes? Some parts of the earth's surface is covered with soft soil, some are covered with hard rocks, and again some parts of it are covered water. The 3/4 portion of the earth's surface is water and only of it is 1/4 land. We know that 3/4 of the world portion is covered with water and only 1/4 is covered with the soil. If you see a world map, you will understand the matter. Most parts of the earth's surface are occupied by vast wide seas and oceans. We know that 3/4 of the world's surface is water and 1/4 of the world's surface is only soil. Moreover, there are lakes, rivers, canals, swamps, etc. The Bay of Bengal is located to the south of Bangladesh. It is a part of Indian Ocean. The other oceans are the Pacific, the Atlantic, the North and the South Oceans. There live plenty of fishes along with various living creatures in the sea water. Loaded ships travel across the sea water. You know that the water from the rain and melted ice flow through the rivers and fall on the seas. How are the rivers created? Actually, ice melted water and rainwater flows down creating rivers. The Himalayas range of mountains is situated to the north of our country. A huge amount of ice accumulates on the top of this mountain range. Then when this ice melts, water comes down alongside the mountains and a narrow river is created. The river becomes wider when more rainwater is added to this. There is excessive rain fall in Nepal, India, Bhutan and Bangladesh. The rivers created in the Himalayan range are responsible for being this rain water. So the rivers such as the Padma, the Jamuna and the Meghna are very large and wide rivers. My dear students, I hope you understand our today's class and you will learn this chapter attentively at your home. Till then, keep well. Assalamu alaikum.